Welcome to Nick's NBL show, where we break down the latest NBL news and opinions that you won't find anywhere else. Let's get started.
Five takeaways from the last round.
I feel like I'm saying this every week, but the Breakers are back. After 2 rough years, it's so good to see them successful again. Coach Modi Mayor has them playing as a cohesive unit on both offense and defense. They've possibly recruited the best import trio in the league and have a next start that is looking like the second coming of Damian Martin. Okay, maybe that's a bit exaggerated, but he is looking really good on the defensive end. If there was an MVP award for best press conferences, then Adam Ford would be the clear winner. In a weekend where the frequent delay of game calls were frustrating and confusing for the players, coaches and fans, Ford came up with this gold at the start of his post-game presser.
Matty, I'm going to be enforcing a hindrance to presser in the spirit of having an effective and timely press conference. This is no way related to anything else, and an assumption would be dangerous to do so. So I'll be issuing out warnings and grievances if I feel like the press is dragging on a little bit, in the spirit of trying to keep it entertaining and speeding it up.
Something I noticed in the Hawks United game, which I found interesting. United used this baseline out-of-bounds play, which the Wildcats used against them in the 2019 Grand Final in Game 4. Melbourne got caught out by it a couple of times then. It's good to see them stealing from the best. Speaking of the Hawks United game, what the hell were they thinking at the end of regulation? There was 5.5 seconds left and Dave Barlow just holds the ball in the backcourt. Why wouldn't you try and push the ball up and at least get a half-court heave? Did he think they were in the lead? Did somebody bet on overtime? It's just unbelievable. The Wildcats are in trouble. They're on a 4-game losing streak and they don't look like they could beat anybody right now. There's no intensity to either their offense or defense. So what's the problem? The talent is there, but it's just not coming out. Something needs to change quickly or it'll be another season which ends early. This team, minus 3 players and the coach, missed the playoffs last year and ended the 35-year streak. I would have expected that this would be a revenge or redemption season. I expected them to come out breathing fire and wanting to destroy everyone in their path, especially after this 3-game losing streak. But I'm not seeing any of that. Are these expectations unrealistic? The Wildcats used to be about doing everything possible to win championships. Has that changed? Because from the outside looking in, it appears that way. Wildcats Corner. We know that since Bryce Cotton has joined the Wildcats, he's been their leading scorer. Let's look a bit closely at the secondary scorers though. This table shows the secondary scorer in each of Bryce's seasons and the points difference between them. You can see that this season the difference is the largest it's ever been. It's clear that Bryce needs help with the scoring load. Currently, the second scorer is Luke Travers. I don't really think that was intended to be his role. So who was the second scorer meant to be? Blanchfield? He's scoring 8 points per game at 37.7%. Manic? 8.4 points at 28.6% from 3. For me, Manic is the one under the most pressure. Imports are the most easily replaced players, and he's not living up to his reputation as a scorer. Forget bang bang, all we've seen is clang clang. One question interview. This week's interview is with Perth Wildcats legend Ricky Grace. I asked Ricky, why are teams doing so well on the road this season?
I would say at the end of the day, they call it a home court advantage. That advantage is that particularly when you're in Perth RAC Arena, the crowd is amazing, and that can only help. Sometimes when you're at home, you can have distractions, organizing tickets for family, some people work, and there's all sorts of distractions that you can have, whereas when you're on the road, you can sort of seclude yourself, the team bonds a bit, but overall, there's positives and negatives in each, but they don't call it a home court advantage for nothing. So sometimes you can get paralysis from analysis, where you start overanalyzing everything, but at the end of the day, I would say they don't call it a home court advantage for nothing.
Thanks, Ricky. And that's all the time we have for this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. See you at the games.